Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 28th of August 2013. So in today's show we'll be going over a few interesting things. First of all, we have a new version of the patch notes with a slew of class changes, some PvP interviews with the likes of Reina Junkie, Swifty, Hotted, people like that, and finally some blue posts. Now this show, one thing I want to say, background footage is probably going to be a little bit lackluster today. The reason for that is because a lot of my time has been going into trying to get lore videos and a setup for that because I think it's a pretty interesting thing to do. I'm also planning on doing more diverse content over the next few days because I feel like the move of the release date from the 27th to the 10th really, it kind of screwed up my schedule and it just sort of gave this past week rather lackluster content in terms of interesting stuff. I mean, class changes and armor previews can't keep you going all the time. Now, let's get on to the news. So first of all, we have patch news updates, and they've just changed the notes with a whole bunch of class things. So, if you are one of the following classes, check it out. Death Knight, Druid, Hunter Monk, Paladin, Rogue, Shaman, Warlocks, and Warriors. So that's 9 of the 11 classes getting changes. I'm pretty happy, coming from a Hunter perspective, because we are getting some further buffs, which are definitely what we need, because even like on the PTR we were quite low in comparison to the other DPS specs. Anyway, let's move on to the PvP interviews. These are with Arena Junkies, Swifty, and Hotted. So first up, they said they would like an open raid equivalent for organising CRC stuff, and it seems like they want that to include perhaps arenas, battlegrounds, like, you know, organised battlegrounds, that sort of thing. And I think this would be really great. Open raid it's a website where players can get together and organise CRZ events. If they can get an in-game system that does that in an intuitive way, that offers players tools that help organize the play, so it's not just everyone sort of queues up and makes a random group. There needs to be some ownership over the raid, ownership over the dungeon group or battleground group, so, you know, a clear leader. But if they get a good tool that really rewards players who are helpful and stuff like that, I think it would actually be fantastic for the game, and more than just the span of PvP, it'll be great for everything. Next thing they said was the arenas have been way too bursty recently, and that's why they're increasing the base resilience again. And funny enough, like in 5.2, I did some dual BM Hunter PvP, and well, because you can macro everything up at once, it was absolutely goddamn ridiculous. It was nothing but burst, and really nearly every dual DPS group we could burst down because we just had that much damage because BM Hunters were completely OP in arenas. But yeah, it definitely seems to be a problem, and there's the mixture of burst being very potent, and then healing also being very potent, which just means it's hard to play a base game that doesn't involve Zerg this guy, Zerg that guy, take the healer off guard or something. So yeah, I think that could be pretty nice for just the pacing of arenas. I can't say much though, I'm not a hardcore PvPer. The next thing they said is that an Arena League system would be really nice, but it's unlikely. The reason for this is because just like in-game limitations and stuff, but they did say they were all for supporting player-run tournaments, and that would be kind of cool if they could set that up. I don't really know how the WoW the tournament scene is for WoW. I've always sort of assumed it was pretty dead. So yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, they also said the next season they confirmed that there will be rank 1 achievements for 3v3 and 5v5. And they also said that their win trading technology, like for tracking it, has improved massively over the last while, and it's going to continue to do so. This is great because win trading is a really scummy tactic. People get stuff they don't deserve. That's never a good thing. You should always only get things that you deserve to get. I think that's important in game design, because if people are able to get things too easily or win trading is allowed, then it just sort of decreases the value the gear has to people, and that's bad for game design. Now the final thing I'm going to say with this is that they said they would like to display how long a player's been playing the game, and I know this isn't specifically PvP related, but it did come up in a PvP interview, hence it's in this part of the show. So pretty much it would be a way of saying you're a veteran. And you know, it's funny, I remember in a game, Battlefield 2142, there was this pretty cool little thing where if you were a Battlefield 2 veteran, you'd have a little Battlefield 2 emblem beside your name. I think they should be able to do something cool like that, and they can track, you know, your character's first login date or something like that, I'd imagine. Well, yeah, they definitely can. That's got to be in a database somewhere. I think that would be cool, because at the end of the day, if people see, you know, you've been there since Burning Crusade or Vanilla or even Wrath at this stage, and you know, you're being helpful, people can say, well, this guy's probably worth listening to, which is good. And okay, it could perhaps encourage the odd bit of elitism, but I don't think that's really any reason to deny players of a good thing. So yeah, I think that would be cool. Now finally, we're going to round the show off with some blue posts. And this is about the number squish and the ability bloat. So they said that the squish will definitely happen next expansion, and the reason for it is because they're starting to hit integer limitations, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, in terms of like some server side stuff. And also the difference, like it's easier to see the difference in smaller numbers and larger ones. I mean, I remember it was only 2 expansions ago in Wrath of the Lich King that we were doing, you know, we started off doing from like, I don't know, 3 to 15,000 damage that expansion, and now only 2 expansions later we are doing, wow, I mean there was a raid there yesterday, I was doing 186k, another boss I was doing 220k, that's a crazy increase in numbers, that's mad. So yeah, I do think the way that the item levels have just bloated so heavily, so majorly, with the way they've done all these different tiers, it's definitely good they do that. And also, why do the item levels have to increase so much from tier to tier? I mean, we went from like 200 to 270 something in terms of the main raiding item levels of Wrath. It seems like we've gone up significantly more in MoB. But anyway, let's move on to ability bloat. And they said this is something that they're definitely worried about, and honestly, I find it to be quite worrying too. It's hard to communicate people the worth of having all these different utilities and abilities when it's just so overwhelming. I mean, a friend of mine, he was trying to argue the benefits of a Guild Wars-like system where you only have 8 skills, and I was like, you know, I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, you know, me and like my character and your Guild Wars character, we still have a kind of base rotation of maybe 3 to 7 skills or 3 to 6 skills or something. But the thing is in WoW that you have all these different abilities and things that allow awesome gameplay. Like there's times where, you know, like our raids, by the way, despite being like raiding heroics, we have the weirdest like comps ever. Like we pretty much always roll with 3 hunters, which is a little bit weird. But like there's times when the hunters have been ping-ponging bosses and things, and we've got some really, really cool kills because we've been able to buy time. I mean, when was it? I think it was like yesterday's raid. We killed a boss with the entire raid dead because the hunters were able to ping pong the boss and keep him busy for long enough by playing awesomely for the boss to die due to like dots and stuff. That is what having more abilities gives. So they need to be very careful with the bloat where they don't take away things that players really feel as a part of their class, like a defining aspect. They can't take those away. They can't dumb down rotations and stuff like that, so it's really quite hard. And they did also confirm that there's a new level cap, there will be new skills, so I would imagine that the new skills will be more interesting versions of, say, 1 or 2 other skills, so you'll be able to take, maybe remove 3 skills and just replace them with 1, or do something like that. But anyway, that is it for this show. Things to do today. Today there might be some, you know, just the regular class changes for X, Season 14 preview for Y. But I've got lore stuff planned. The lore might be out today, I'm not sure. It's going to be on Lei Shen, and I think it's actually really fun to like read up and do all that stuff. So hopefully it'll be a thing. Anyway, thank you for watching the show. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'd appreciate it a lot. And with that, I'll see you next time.